put some plaster cloth over it.
Looking at the weeds and all that stuff. I've seen a lot of that miniaturized, that a lot of places are doing. It looks really nice, but you gotta have the patience. And I like doing all that. When the wife was alive, she was looking forward to, not necessarily playing with the trains, but she wanted to design and play with all the fine stuff. Because
This is my wife's design.
Okay.
North Pole Village.
Yeah, because she was all that crafting stuff.
And, you know, yeah, because, well, it was an interesting thing when we moved here and everything, decided we were going to finally settle down. And ran into these guys at the Beatty show in 2012, and then I got in touch with some of them and got back involved. She said, we're involved. So, by the way, we're going with Alaska. Okay. When she was a kid, her dad had been stationed twice in Alaska. She'd gone through most of grade school, either up in the Fairbanks area or down in the Anchorage area. And of course, you don't have competing rail lines in Alaska.
No.
But she remembered, and of course we'd taken trips, plus the fact we lived up there for one of the years that we were traveling, working. And so she knew what North Pole looked like.
Oh, really?
In Old Denali. And of course I'd been stationed up there, so I knew that, you know, taking my family up and got the nosebleeds. But I got two sections that usually are here or somewhere on the board that are Denali. When her cancer returned, it became all me.
Yeah, my wife had cancer. She fought it for 8 years, and then afterwards she passed. Her oncologist told me that she was only made 6 months. Because she had so much energy to fight it, they didn't care to tell her, because they tell you in 6 months ago.
Yeah, probably up until the about the last 2 months of my wife's life, the cancer had spread so much to her brain that was when otherwise she would try to do just as chipper as she could be, and even then when she could focus, she was still there. But you know, whether it's a home setup and whatever scale, I can't work within scale.
Yeah, because that's what you're saying, that it's just
my fingers just don't work that well anymore.
Right. And I want an end scale so I can put more in a smaller area. I like HO. I mean, there's a lot of nice HO stuff, but what's in my head, I usually understand.
Well, that's several of our members. Dave that was just here earlier, he only had one HO module and he got a small train set, but his home set was in.
Okay.
And he doesn't really do that much. Harry was here a little earlier, before he left. He used to, before he moved here, he used to have both N-scale and HO. They didn't intermingle or anything else. And like Mike and I have been talking, we'd like to be able to take something where we had enough space for one of these, to be able to have the HO, really rather have a proto with a single track and then shuttle and working tracks.
Yeah.
But be able to take something like that, even a model, and a piece to the back of here, and have an N-scale run around to a line-like setup.
Gotcha.
And the same thing on that banded strip over there.
Right.
But you know,
To add more detail.
it's all in your head. It's what you want to try to do with it.
Right. See, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, in the industrial area, writing cars, backyards, all that stuff. If you're familiar with any of that. And so when I was a kid, my mother would go visit Grandpa, and I'd go on the back porch. Back then, the apartment buildings had big back porches.
Oh yeah.
You didn't worry about you falling off. If you're dumb enough to fall off, too bad.
It's your problem.
Yeah. And it overlooked the Kansas the factory. All day long, produce trains going in and out, in and out. And I just sit there and watch these trains all day long. So in Chicago, you could, if you didn't like trains, that's too bad because you're going to be
They're
exposed
all
to
over.
a lot of them. So I was used to the Santa Fe, the Burlington, the CB&Q, Norfolk and Southern still got a yard there. CSX took over all the other stuff on the east side. And those people really don't know how to run a railroad to begin with. They don't know what name they want to put on it. And as it is, some of the employees are, I think it's employees, it has to be, are taking it upon themselves to repaint some of the engines in chassis colors with the cat on it. So it can't be just someone going to an engine at night and redoing it. There's a lot of work with a lot of people with this, and I think it's on the inside, and people are starting to notice.
Not too long ago, we had one of those employee-done trains go through the Chehalis area.
Oh, okay.
We even put it, I can't remember which one of us done it, but it was put up for they're called grab bags, little clips from some of the other cameras.
Right. I worked for Santa Fe in Chicago on the south side of the Corwith yard, which is their intermodal yard. And I was a semi-trailer inspector and container inspector. So that was nice. It was just before the BNSF merger. But man, when some of those SD40s, you get 5 of them starting up to leave the yard, the whole ground was shaking. And so driving truck, I got to see them running out in the desert, which for a while there, years ago, they'd be able to go a lot faster than they used to.
Depending on where their route is, because typical of everything with safety.
Yeah.
The NTSB has got to have their recommendations for the aviation world why did this trucker lay it over on its side? Well, the fact that they advertised the wind was only going to be gusts of 25, and he wound up getting the first gust out of that thunderstorm at 80 miles an hour.
And he's only got 12,000 pounds in a box.
Yeah.
And
it's all toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
It's all toilet paper now. But I got to see a lot of the back roads, Texas, the Dakotas, and the abandoned towns, abandoned mines, the ones that are still going. So I got all that in my head what this looks like. So it's infinite what I could do. And so I kind of bought it and went crazy. Like I said, I'm not bragging, but I have hundreds of locomotives. I have